Hello, welcome. It's lovely to be here again. Today I'm going to share with you one of my absolutely most important and favourite self-love practices. I'm going to explain to you the journey I went on to learn to talk to my vagina and how I talk to her now and how important that is in my life. So I know it sounds completely crazy that I talk to my vagina as a separate person almost, and it is. It's like the relationship I've developed with her is as if she is a separate intelligence in my body. Now, of course, that's not entirely true, but actually in my belief system, I think she's a part of me, and she has a personality, and she has an intelligence, and this is something I think I've certainly struggled with on my journey of reclaiming my feminine glory, to kind of fully understand that a part of my body has its own intelligence, but my God, a vagina has an intelligence, and we have been very, very deeply conditioned away from that, and away from this knowing, and away from this deep intuition and this deep love that exists for us in the core of our being, which our vagina is our kind of entrance gateway, if you like, to this incredibly powerful core of our being. So if I backtrack to the younger me, I've always enjoyed sex, but very often penetrative sex, tampons, anything I put in my vagina pretty much always resulted in some kind of thrush outbreak. If I didn't handle that really, really quickly, which kind of often I didn't, I hoped it would go away because I was that disconnected, it would then grow into cystitis. And I had this kind of have sex, have a period, deal with a thrush outbreak, which would develop into cystitis, which would kind of, the whole thing would take about 2 weeks. And it wasn't always hideous, quite often it was, but it was always uncomfortable. And it didn't make me massively celebrate menstruation, which is really sad. All those years I didn't celebrate this incredible power I have and my connection to the moon and all this really juicy feminine power I had. But it also really made me, if I'm honest with you, after sex, I would quite often regret having had the sex, because then I'd had that beautiful experience, I had that lovely connection, but then shortly afterwards it was followed by discomfort, leading to pain, leading to just feeling really yucky in myself. And like most women, I made sure that I had all the products available, I kept them stocked up in the house. I knew the early signs, I got the products, I put them into my body, I drank them, did whatever I had to do, followed all the instructions on the labels, and it never went away. I was only ever treating the symptoms, just as we're trained in the West, like never went any deeper than the symptoms, I just dealt with the symptoms. And then as I started my kind of real journey of reawakening and reconnecting with my sexuality and actually kind of recognising and celebrating this power in me, a core part of that was learning to connect with her, learning, as a young woman, whilst I might enjoy sex with a man, and it was always with men in those days, whilst I might enjoy that experience, I had no knowledge that was separate to their pleasure in my body. I had no knowledge of, I was convinced my vagina smelled disgusting, because that's what I'd been trained to think with all the social conditioning we have about fishy fannies, right? So I was convinced, she smelled disgusting. I was pretty sure she looked disgusting, and actually I didn't know whether she did or not, because I don't know if she looked. I'd never taken a mirror, I'd never looked even at my vulva, let alone deeper inside. I just didn't know her at all. She was just this dark, unknown, kind of slightly problematical space in my body, which, I experienced amazing pleasure with on occasion, but most of the time I pretty much ignored her. It was pretty neglected. It was like that kind of dark, dank corner of the garden that it's very much in the shade, you don't know what to grow there, so you just kind of ignore it. That was my relationship with my vagina. And then mid-40s, I was lucky enough for life to lead me in directions where I started this reclamation of celebration. I got to know her. I got to know what she looked like. I really got to know what she felt like, not in terms of what it felt like when I was sexually aroused with a partner, but what she felt like at all times of the day and in all different moods. I got to know what she really loves, what she desires, what she needs, what she really doesn't like, what she says no to. I got to know her moods. I got to know like many, I'm not going to say any women, like many of us, she's quite fickle. She has some serious moods. She has some really hot and horny moods, and she has some moods where she's like, fuck off, I don't want anything to do with you, like go away, like just leave me in peace. And And these reflective, kind of deep melancholy moods are just as beautiful as the excitable, kind of almost like teenage excitement that she still feels at times. So I got to develop this relationship with her. I got to know her through self-pleasure practices, through breath work, basically through working through tantric practices. I got to really know my vagina. I got to know her connection with the rest of my body, how she connects with my womb, how she connects with the ovaries, the kidneys, my brain. It was incredible power within me, which I got to learn about and know about and feel connected to. And through this connection, we developed a language. We developed a kind of shorthand. Yeah, at the beginning, it took hours of getting to know her and doing some practices and really connecting with her. And now it's kind of quite shorthand. I can just say, "You're right. How are you doing?" If sex is on the cards, I can check in with her really quickly. The beginning of a period. Periods are interesting. So one of the things she hated the most, and I don't really blame her, now that I'm a bit more informed, but she really hated tampons. She really, really, when I look back on it, tampons was a really big reason for thrush. Now I can think there are some really strong biological reasons for this, like you're putting a bleached, mass-produced product inside your vagina and just kind of letting it hang out there, and it was a bit, she wasn't happy with that. The other day, for some reason I couldn't find my moon cup, I don't know, used a tampon as an emergency, and within hours I was getting thrushy symptoms. But because I talked to her, I removed the tampon, I apologised, I said, "What do you need?" And she said, "No more of that shit." And I was like, "Okay, I promise you." And the symptoms went. This is like the power I feel that I have now because I have this relationship. I can promise her I won't do it again. I've now got to a place where my conversations with my vagina are kind of so well known and so regular and so much part of my life that my partner knows about it. And there was a day not so long ago when we're having morning cuddles and it's beginning to move to sex and she's not really seeming like she wants to play along. And I guess normally what we'd have done is maybe reach for a lube. Like my personal favourite is coconut oil. We'd have reached for a lube, or he'd have just carried on trying things, stroking my nipples, open mouth kissing, all the things that we try to kind of excite my vagina. And for some reason, it was really beautiful. He just put cupped his hands over my pubic mound so that his fingers were just covering my vulva. And he spoke directly to her. He said, "What do you want? What do you need? Is this okay with you? Would you like to would you like to carry on? Would you like me to carry on? Do you want to carry on experiencing pleasure?" I wish I'd written down the answer at the time, but in the middle of sex you kind of don't write down what your vagina's saying. But she answered, and it was beautiful. And I think what was so incredibly beautiful was that the relationship I had developed with this part of my body is being honoured and valued by my partner as well. He doesn't think it's kooky, he doesn't think it's weird. He joins me there. Now, in a beautiful ideal world, none of us would have to regain this relationship. We would have never lost it. We'd have always stayed connected with this incredibly powerful, beautiful place in our bodies. But for lots and lots of reasons over the centuries, women have been disconnected from this power within them. We've been conditioned to fear our sexuality. We've been conditioned to think of our vaginas as disgusting, as shameful, as dirty, as something that has to be hidden beneath layers and layers and layers of clothing. So to kind of, as part of my journey of learning to really deeply love myself, to fully accept myself exactly as I am, to honour my body, to worship my body, to celebrate my body. This is so powerful. I've just turned 50 this year and I'm actually celebrating my body. This is one of the beautiful things about growing older, is you learn to appreciate and accept and love yourself exactly as you are. And what I want to kind of spread the message is, don't wait till you're 50. Like, let's start this in our 20s. Let's love ourselves deeply exactly as we are in our 20s. Let's develop these relationships. Let's connect with all these parts of our body. And as we do this, and this is one of the things I'm so passionate about, is that as we, the adults in the homes, reconnect with our bodies, take pleasure in our bodies, and really get to know what our bodies love and what they want and what they need, we model to our children to do the same. We don't shut down our children. We don't tell our children off. for having sexual feelings or being sexual. We allow it. We create the safe space, we honour them, we celebrate them, and we love them to bits. So talk to your vagina. Message me, let me know how it gets on. I'd love to hear your stories. I'd love to know how it feels for you. And don't forget, if you enjoyed this video, please like it, subscribe to my channel, and also if you'd like to hear more from me on a regular basis, click in the comments below to follow the link to subscribe to my newsletter. It's lovely to talk to you. I'll see you again soon. Take care. Bye now.